Okay, what's up everyone? I'm Jackie YBT. This is my second take because I forgot to record my face. I was talking just now and now this is the second take. Today's video, just want to talk about why Gen Z or Gen Z and millennials are obsessed with nostalgic. And I definitely feel that, I myself as a Gen Z, I have my fair share of feeling nostalgic from the past. What difference between me and the others Gen Z is I don't think that everything in the past is good, but certainly I understand and I know why they feel that way because we are living in a very uncertainty, we are living in a world that peace seems far ahead from us. You can watch the news and you will see there's a new war, or the war that happened in the past and then now it's coming back again. Like we have Russia versus Ukraine, we have Hamas versus Israel, and now the latest one, Israel versus Iran, and before that it was Pakistan and India. Although there are some talking going on, the ceasefire, but we don't know whether this peace will last long enough. Everything has just happened so rapidly. Not only that, economy instability, like things are getting more expensive, inflation skyrocketed, pricing, housing pricing, the food prices, everything just increased price. Like I remember that I used to spend like maybe 5 to 6 ringgit for a lunch, and nowadays I need to spend like 9 to 10 ringgit, and we are talking about the more cheaper option, which is the kopitiam. It's one kind of restaurant, the cheap one, like affordable meal you can get there. They have few food stalls, and then the kopitiam owner will provide drinks. So that's the vibe of it, and there's no aircon. Okay, and we have cafe, a slightly higher end. You need to spend more, like around 15 bucks to 20 bucks ringgit with aircon. Maybe for you guys, European or American, it's very cheap because of the currency rate difference. But for us, no, it's quite expensive nowadays, like getting more and more expensive. And we have the new SST expansion. When you pay more taxes, like the government increased SST from 6% to 8%, so on. And also climate changes, and then AI. There's so many things is bothering us. We feel like kind of hopeless compared to baby boomers and Gen X. They were living in the best time ever, economic speaking. Of course, every generation has its own problem. A lot of Gen Z and millennials seems to overlook that. Every era has its own problem. It's not perfect because humans are not perfect. We always face a lot of troubles and challenges. But because what we are feeling now, it seems like hopeless. As an adult, you need to pay all the bills and everything just increased. That's why we tend to look back to the more simple time, no social media, people used to talk to each other and so on. Yeah, I can relate to that. Second reason, which is pop culture recycling. Yeah, I mean, you look at fashion itself, like the 90s fashion are coming back, Y2K aesthetic, vinyl records, retro games like emulator, like Game Boy Advance, all those stuff. Like the media is constantly pushing all these nostalgic thing back from the 90s and 80s, to early 2000s for us. It's just constantly feeding us that, TikTok, you go to TikTok, you'll see TikToker use old song to showcase they are doing dances like way in the past, trying to bring back. Like it's like a constant looping, and I see it as a problem because we are not progressing. Like we're just looking back to the past. Yeah, the past is comforting, it's something that we're familiar with, and I do see some of the design from the past is way superior, way better than the existing now. Like nowadays, especially if you watch my previous video, I talk about the Apple liquid glass thing. Yeah, I wish we are having Windows arrow design instead of minimalistic. Like nowadays, everything is just minimalistic, flat design. It's soulless. Back then, design was meaningful. It was real. Like, yeah, this is something I can relate in terms of design, where I think the past design is better. Mostly, the biggest reason is the adulthood. Like, we don't want to be adult. We used to be kids thinking like, I want to grow up and it would be better to grow up, freedom. But now when we grow up, like, you have some sort of freedom, you can go around, but the bills, the debt, everything is just crushing us down. That's why the job market, especially the AI, so on. So these are the reasons why Gen Z and millennials are so obsessed with the past. Like I said, there's so many things. It's like constantly remind us, internet culture, friends are playing back again. Like, it's just constantly bombarded, like, the past. I think we need to move on and look forwards to the future, even though the future seems dark, because the past, we don't have a time machine. You just can't go back and revive. The only thing we can revive is the fashion, and that's it. Like, the fashion and maybe some retro tech, and that's it. Like, we have more challenges that we need to solve, and that's something more important, instead of clinging to the past. That's how I see it. I personally, I don't know why I romanticize the 80s Japan. Back in the 80s, Japan was experience their most glorious, most prosper moment during the mid to late 80s. Everyone was spending. Consumerism, materialism was at its peak. Like, capitalism at its finest at that time. Like, people spending money, like drinking water, spending like no tomorrow, and so on. For me, like, that's sort of optimism. There's the future seems bright, although we know like what happened next. Early 90s, 1992, economic collapse, the bubble burst, the housing pricing, the property all dropped like crazy, and Japan went into 30 years of deflation. Yeah, instead of inflation, it's deflation, because nobody wants to buy anything, because the price will stay the same next year. So why not I just save more money and just buy it next time? Yeah, but recently they slowly go back to normal, you can say, like the inflation, back to the normal level. They increase the prices. Yeah, so for me, it's the city pop. I like to listen to that kind of genre music, like the optimism, the positivity, the vibe. The vibe is just immaculate. Like, everything to me is good and so on. But deep down, I understand that the 80s is not that good. Like, a lot of problem during the 80s. Like I would never go back there. Like, I enjoy nowadays with the advanced technology, the medical advancement, and so on. The past is not always the best. That's what I'm trying to say. I might sound like a broken record. Like this is how I feel it. Like, that's it, man. Thanks for watching. Thanks for listening to me rumbling, ranting, or whatever you call it. It's just my thoughts going around. What do you think about this? Like, are we Gen Z and millennials like too obsessed with nostalgia? Let me know in the comment section below. Tell me your thoughts. I would like to see it, share it. All right, like, subscribe, comment, all the good stuff. Okay, bye.